Randy Blair, extra effort is all the same.
Hey, guys, you have time for some friends of mine?
Randy's making the connection and making it count by caring about Baltimore, just like the Orioles. And that's what Randy shares with you every day.
That's what friends are for.
It's Pleasant Colony, the winner of the 106th running of the Preakness Stakes, driving down the stretch. And now we think of another potential Triple Crown winner. I'm Randy Blair, along with Marty Bass. We'll have the full Preakness story live from Pimlico. Don?
The sight of sailing fills the inner harbor for the other Preakness race today. Kevin Brown reports. A tanker truck flips over and pours its chemical load onto Route 3. We'll have details. I'm Don Scott with Gail Gardner, Randy Blair, and Marty Bass. The 106th running of the Preakness, plus all of today's news, next right here on Channel 13's Eyewitness News.
You can expect more chemicals. Expect more from a leader.
Now, four-wheel drive gives you the luxury to go anywhere.
4x4 by Datsun.
Introducing the 1981 Datsun King Cab. Off-road, its new Napsy engine gives you more power than last year. And with exclusive reclining buckets, optional jump seats, and a sporty 5-speed stick, this King Cab takes on the city in high style.
Datsun 4-wheel driven. California, here we come.
United loves California. She's big, warm, flashy, and fun. She's all business, all pleasure, and she's a United state. Because every day, United takes you direct to Los Angeles, direct to San Francisco, with roomy wide bodies featuring ocean-to-ocean service. No place offers more than California, and no airline takes you there like United.
We love California.
By the friendly skies.
WJZ-TV, Channel 13, Baltimore.
Away on the outside, it's 38 paces.
This was the 106th running to the Preakness Stakes at Pimlico. Less than an hour ago, the mile and 3/16 were run. We'll show you the rest of the race in a moment. I'm Don Scott with Gail Gardner here on Television Hill and Randy Blair live at Old Hilltop. Randy and Gail, your day.
This is so true. I would say, really, Don, that it is Pleasant Colony's day. The horse trained by Johnny Campo, the Buckland Farms horse has won the 106th running of the Preakness, and Randy Blair is standing by live with much more on the race. Randy?
Gail and Don and all the viewers, it was really an impressive win for Pleasant Colony because, you know, he won the Derby, and a lot of people said, well, there were 21 horses in that Derby, and that had a lot to do with the fact that he just got a clear lane, and Jorge Velasquez gave him a ride, kept him out of trouble, and took him to a win in the Derby. But today, well, I think he answered a lot of questions as he really turned on the speed. As we're going to pick it up heading into the stretch, Velasquez kept the colt back about the middle of the pack through most of the races. They allowed Bold Ego to set the pace as he did so well. And this is down the stretch. Velasquez is asking the colt to go. He does. Bold Ego tries to get back in it, and look at Pleasant Colony passing there. And he ends up winning it, driving, really, over the mile and 3/16 at the 8th pole. The 8th pole, Bold Ego just simply could not compete with Pleasant Colony. And he wins it in a time of 1:54 3/5 seconds. That's 3/5 of a second off the record set by Canyonero II back in 1971. Pleasant Colony, 2/3 of the way to a Triple Crown. 3 weeks from today, we'll be talking about the Belmont Stakes. A great ride by Jorge Velasquez as they win the Preakness Stakes. And now that Pleasant Colony has won the Preakness, of course, his colors will be going up. And we'll see that for the next year or so. That is part of the Preakness tradition, as Marty Bass explains.
Amidst the noise and excitement, tension and pressure that's building in Pimlico right here, right now, there seems to be a sense of history, tradition, and pride building also. And this man, more than anybody, more than the horse, more than the jockey, and more than the woodlawn vase, has something to do with a tradition that is the Preakness. Tommy Ennis is this man. He lives in Charlestown, West Virginia, but during the spring meet at Pimlico, he brings his family up here to get some work. His day, Preakness Day, begins in the afternoon when he climbs up to the weather vane and takes off the old colors to give him more time to put the new colors on at the end of the race. But today a problem has developed for Tommy, the wind.
Gonna be pretty windy. I think about the worst since I've been here in 20 years. Awful windy.
It causes some serious problems when you're painting?
Yeah, I got to hold on one hand, paint with the other.
How do you...
It's rough. It's to be surprised how windy it is up there compared to what it is down here.
How do you feel about taking part in history? I mean, millions of people all over the world are going to see you making the Preakness official as tradition goes.
Well, just one of those things, you know. You never know what... just guessing like everybody else. I got to make all the patterns, 14 patterns, and only use one of them.
You know, when the end of the race hits national and worldwide TV, you think your family will be watching?
Oh, yeah. They'll all be watching in town.
They're proud of you. They go, there he is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It gives you a little boost, you know, something to be... 21 years I've been doing this. That's a long while. There's a lot of work to it. It doesn't look like as much work, but there is a lot of work.
And they're coming up to the finish line, and it looks like the winner is going to be number 11. Number 11, Pleasant Colony. Unofficially at this time won the Preakness. All right, let's go over here and talk to Tom. Tom, Pleasant Colony, you ready to go to work? All right. And just as sure as networks from all over the world ended their Derby coverage with shots of the spires of Churchill Downs, those same networks will end for the world the Preakness with shots of Tommy Ennis, just taking care of a little bit of Maryland history, painting the weather vane at Pimlico. And Tommy did a really good job. The weather vane's painted. The Preakness is history. Some call it sport, but basically it's entertainment. And just like a good play, a good movie, there's a front stage and a backstage. There's a lot to this race. Gail Gardner looks at that right now. Gail?
Programs here. Red Hot Preakness programs.
Preakness Day at Pimlico. A year of waiting for one day of sheer excitement. And on that day, hours of anticipation for 2 minutes of utter frenzy. There are actually two races here today, the Preakness and the race to see the Preakness. And there is no bigger contrast than the people who are here and the beautiful creatures they've come to see. Pimlico, Gail Gardner, Channel 13 Eyewitness Sports.
Maybe you weren't in the big crowd at Pimlico today. Chances are, if you're home watching this now, you were not. What did you miss? Who did you miss by not being here? That's what we're going to try to show you. You missed your chance to sit in the VIP section with the owner of the track, or at least one of them, to gape at owners of Preakness winners gone by, Harry and Teresa Meyerhoff, the owner of one of this year's entrants, Partey, and this year's State Attorney General, and one of years gone by. You missed your live peek at Howard in the flesh instead of on nationwide TV. You missed this guy who used to be on local TV. He was sitting near Johnny Unitas, who was sitting near Judge Saul Liss. You missed your table in the Jockey Club. Tommy D'Alessandro the older did not. Neither did Tommy the younger and Jimmy the Greek. You missed your Black-Eyed Susan. You also missed paying $3.25 for it. You missed the crowd at the rail, in the infield, although you probably didn't miss this. You missed the crowds in the halls, on the steps, and at the ticket windows. You missed this line, which never got smaller. We thought it was for food. Others thought
This is terrible. They ought to have more bathrooms. I've been waiting here for 15 minutes so far.
What's this line for?
For the bathroom.
You also miss the excitement of the race and the day. Of course, if you missed the race, Gail and Randy will have more on the Preakness and all of today's sports later in this Eyewitness newscast. Not all of today's fun in Charm City was at Pimlico. Today was the first day of the 5th annual Mayor's Inner Harbor Regatta. Kevin Brown and Instant Eye came across one sailor who never even got to the race.
I went out in a small crash boat to see the regatta, and the race hadn't even begun when we came across a crash. Tom Lawton told me what happened.
Flying Scot came up on port tack and hit us.
This isn't going to pump.
Just to the left of our bow.
Such a big piece missing out of the bow.
They're a big, heavy boat and pretty strong in the bow, and it just stove in the whole bow line. So we filled up with water right away as soon as that happened. You can see there's half a dozen pieces of boat just lying around here.
Pretty frightening when it happened, huh?
Not so much. It just we got thrown forward a little bit, but nobody got hurt or anything like that.
Is this something that can be repaired?
Well, it's possible. This is an old boat, and it's been patched many times, so there's some chance I'll be able to do it. I haven't really seen how bad it is yet.
He took a pretty big hit in the front, and he lost his whole bow. Where would be a good place to take him out at, beach him?
The Coast Guard agreed to tow Lawton's boat back to shore and to give him, his son, and a friend a ride as well. A short time later, the races began, minus one racer. In the Baltimore Harbor, Kevin Brown, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
When we return, a bomb explodes in a New York City airport. A tornado rips through Elkton, and a tanker truck filled with chemicals overturns on Route 3. That's all ahead on our Preakness edition of Eyewitness News.
Pardon me, why are you shopping at Bill's Carpet Warehouse?
To take advantage of Bill's Sunday and Monday $50 remnant sale.
What sort of rug can you get for just $50?
I have a great choice. 9 by 12, 10 by 12, even a huge 12 by 12, just $50.
It's beautiful.
And broadloom is priced from $3.88 a square yard.
Well, you sure know carpet.
That's why I buy at Bill's. I'm not going to make a big mistake.
The $50 remnant sale, Sunday and Monday at Bill's Carpet.
Air conditioning.
Rude now offers a new central unit so energy efficient that we call it the Advantage. Rude makes it possible for Rude dealers to offer energy-efficient air conditioning with a quality reputation. That's what my customers are looking for. Air conditioning with the Advantage.
Rude air conditioning.
Come on, Harry. Where do you put your money? Gold? No.
You don't have to look far for a good investment. Deposit at Union Trust and find fine French lead crystal.
Silver, then? No.
Deposit money in a Union Trust savings, checking, or certificate account and get this elegant collection free or at a fraction of the cost. For example, you can get 2 goblets or tumblers free with a $300 deposit.
Where do you put your money? It's right under your nose.
Free French lead crystal. Details at Union Trust.
Roy Rogers, dinner question 16. Imagine fixing your favorite sandwich just the way you like it at our Fresh Fixins bar.
With onions? No onions.
You've got the idea. Fix your sandwich the way you like it best, with lettuce, tomato, and all kinds of other good stuff. And Roy's Fixins bar is free.
Yes, we know.
Roy Rogers Fixins bar. It's fresh and free, so everyone can fix their sandwich just the way they like it.
We'll drop by.
Later. Roy Rogers, for lots of real good fast food.
An overturned tanker truck blocked traffic and spilled over 100 gallons of bleach all over Route 3 today. Police told Kevin Brown the accident happened when the tanker was traveling northbound near Glen Burnie and blew 2 tires. The truck then flipped and left its leaking 650-gallon tank on the median strip. Police diverted traffic from Route 3 onto Dorsey and Porterfield roads for about 2 hours. Officials say the leak poses no danger and no one, including the truck's driver, was injured. Citizens of Elkton, Maryland are okay tonight despite a tornado that touched down there 4 times last night and caused extensive damage. The twister took the roofs off at least 3 buildings and sent debris whirling 30 feet into the air. One Cecil County businessman estimates damages will exceed $1 million. Storms following that tornado also caused severe flooding. Yesterday's rain also complicated matters for a city resident. Joseph Rice says an alley next to his home had been sinking for some time before yesterday's storm caused it to cave in and take part of his basement along with it. Rice says he has been after the city to fix the alley for 3 years, since the house next door was torn down and heavy construction equipment left the alley in its sinking condition. A city housing official came to inspect the damage, but said nothing could be done until Monday. A bomb tore through an airline terminal at Kennedy Airport in New York City today, leaving one man seriously injured. Just before that explosion, the airport received a bomb threat from a phone caller who identified himself as a member of the Puerto Rican Armed Resistance Group. The caller said another bomb was aboard a plane bound for Guatemala. That plane was evacuated immediately, but no other bomb was found. Topping tonight's crime beat, an unidentified woman found stabbed to death on a southwest Baltimore street. Police say the woman was found around 4 this morning with numerous stab wounds in her neck. She is between 16 and 21 years of age. As of yet, police have no suspects or motives in that case. Coming up, no rain was promised for our Preakness, and Marty Bass came through. We'll go live to Pimlico for Marty and the exclusive AccuWeather forecast next on our special Preakness edition of Eyewitness News.
You know, at first we considered buying one of those bargain lawn and garden tractors.
We?
But a lot of the older Cub Cadets are selling for more now than they did new. These things are reliable.
He's big on reliability.
3 things seem to get more valuable as they get older. My house, my Cub Cadet, and my wife.
It's nice to know something's going to be around to get the job done.
Cub Cadet from International Harvester.
These basketball players are going to try a little one-on-one. It's Pepsi against Coke in the Pepsi Challenge. Okay, ready? Pepsi. Monty, listen, I'll talk to you while you drink. What was it about the Pepsi that you liked?
It went down smooth, so I can guzzle it.
In tests like these nationwide, more people prefer Pepsi over Coca-Cola. And that's the truth. Can we get you a sandwich or anything? Don't sit on the sidelines. Take the Pepsi Challenge. Let your taste decide. Terrific.
Acme, your store for low prices, is bringing you a mountain of savings. Over 300 of Acme's own brands have been reduced. You save on canned goods, beverages, paper products, and much more. Favorites like Ideal Canned Corn, Ideal Sodas, trash bags. Over 300 Acme brands reduced. No wonder Acme's your store for low prices.
Save at Acme.
Tell a friend.
Front-wheel drive Dodge Aries K, America's highest mileage 6-passenger car, challenges Toyota Corona. Each starts with 12 gallons of gas. Toyota says, oh, what a feeling. But for mileage, you'll feel better with Aries. Look, the 4-passenger Corona runs out after 444 miles. The 6-passenger Aries goes on almost 50 miles further. Aries K at your Dodge Ram dealer.
Test drive Aries. Compare qualifying competitive cars. We're so confident you'll get $50 no matter which car you buy.
Marty Bass, live and in the breeze at Pimlico.
In the cold breeze at Pimlico, Don. We said it wasn't going to rain, and it didn't, but let's be honest about it. Today certainly could have been much sunnier and much warmer. There's a reason for that, and we'll get to it in just a second. I'll also fill you in on your Preakness Saturday night. Let's look at the current stats. Right now on TV Hill, it's brisk, to say the least. 65 degrees, 18 Celsius, humidity 56%. Now here's the west-northwest wind that brought in the clouds and a lot of the cool air. Still blowing right now at 9 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is holding steady now at 29.95. There's your tides, high and low. Sunrise 5:52. Sun will set tonight at 8:14. Let's take a look at the radar. We're not going to see a whole lot. Just ground clutter around Patuxent. We still have some clouds in the area, but they obviously are not storm clouds nor holding any great amounts of precipitation. Our SkyTrack satellite photo is going to show us something very interesting, an enormous area of clouds, decently enormous, right over the Maryland area. What this boiled down to was a cold front. It went through last night. It brought us all with the rain, but it slowed up along the coast. Big low pressure stayed up to our north. Of course, you get a counterclockwise flow around the low, and it brought in these cooler winds coming up from around the Detroit-Canadian border area. Now, the cold front is moving it south out. Skies should clear a little bit tonight, which means it might get chilly. So if you're going out, forget the umbrella, but do take a jacket with you. Tomorrow should be sunny and a really decent day. Let's make it official. Look at the AccuWeather forecast this afternoon. Well, which is tonight, we're going to call it for partly clearing skies, partly cloudy, overnight low of 50 degrees. Tomorrow should really be an excellent Sunday, slightly breezy with a high of, standing by, 75 degrees. It's not going to be a bad night. It wasn't a bad day. Don, that's the weather.
People still there? I can see some behind you.
Oh, there's a few thousand people still here, you know. Why leave the track? Just because it's getting dark, just because it's cold? Hey, it's still Preakness Day.
And you're stuck out there anyway. Thank you, Marty.
Yeah.
Still ahead, Gail Gardner takes another look at the 106th Preakness, and Randy Blair reports live from the racetrack as our Preakness edition of Eyewitness News moves on.
Good, practical car, son.
Thanks, Dad. Some people think I bought my Datsun 310 for its front-wheel drive and great mileage. But look at these soft velour bucket seats, that sexy dashboard with clock, tack, and stereo. Datsun, you are driven.
Love your Datsun, Roger.
Man does not live by gas mileage alone.
Datsun. It's good for you. It's good for you.
This is next Monday's newspaper. It's not even printed yet, but be sure you get it. Because every Monday, Hulschel's brings you this, a 12-page insert on a new weekly sale. And wait till you see what Hulschel's puts on these pages. Every insert features sale prices on in-season brand name items, plus value pricing. The start of every week is the start of something big at Hulschel's. Check Hulschel's insert in every Monday's paper.
We're going where you're.
Women Behind the Community Incorporated will sponsor the Rod Rogers Dance Company in concert tomorrow evening at 7:30 at Pauley Western Auditorium. Tickets at the door.
If you want to win the Maryland Weekly Lottery, you just have to buy some tickets in the Weekly Lottery. That's what Henry Taylor did.
You gotta play it, the Maryland Lottery. You gotta play it to win. You gotta play it, the Maryland Lottery. You gotta play it to win. You just take the fortune by the hand. Got a great lottery in Maryland. You gotta play it. You gotta play it. You gotta play to win.
Just when you thought Seiko had done it all, Seiko creates new wonders. Dual display alarm chronographs with day and date. Water-resistant alarm chronographs with single button control for each function. Solar alarm chronographs with batteries recharged by the sun. And Seiko's first alarm countdown timer for women. Will Seiko wonders never cease? See them when you see this.
Available at all fine jewelry and department stores.
Gail Gardner on a day of such sport import that we're double-teaming this one, huh?
We certainly are. Did you have a nice time out there today?
I did. The crowd was very nice and very big.
Very huge crowd. I think the record crowd. I think I heard that.
Really? It may have been. From what I saw. Whew.
Over 80,000, a lot of people. And I'll tell you, if there are any doubters now about the quality of Pleasant Colony as a racehorse, doubt no more. The Buckland Farms horse, trained by the irrepressible Johnny Campo, has now won the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown, taking the Preakness at Pimlico today by 1 length over Bold Ego. Now, 13 horses burst out of the starting gate at the 106th running of the Preakness. Pleasant Colony starting in the 12th position. Bold Ego, 38 paces, Top Avenger in the early lead. But by the time they came to the top of the stretch, Pleasant Colony was making his move.
Then it's Bold. They come to the top of the lane. Pleasant Colony on the outside as they turn for home. It's Bold Eagle down along the inside. Pleasant Colony on the outside, 38 paces. Down along the inside, it's...
Now coming down the home stretch, Bold Ego, the Mexican horse with John Lively aboard on the inside. Pleasant Colony, Jorge Velasquez coming up on the outside, just like he did in the Wood Memorial, just like he did in the Kentucky Derby, driving head-to-head towards the wire. Pleasant Colony pulls away to win by a length over Bold Ego. Paristo was third. The Maryland horse 38 paces fourth. Partey fifth. Highland Blade sixth. As we watch the slow-mo final once again, Pleasant Colony wins the 106th running of the Preakness in the time of 1:54 3/5, just shy of the Preakness record of 1:54 set by Canonero II in 1971. Well, Randy Blair was one of the many thousands watching the race at Pimlico. He is at the winner's circle right now with more on Pleasant Colony's victory. Randy?
Gail, you made a good point. It was a nice ride as Pleasant Colony answered some questions, I think, that some people had about him, as we pointed out at the top of the show, saying that 21 rode in the Kentucky Derby and a lot of luck entered into it. But today, Pleasant Colony, I think, answered some questions, much like Spectacular Bid did 2 years ago here at Pimlico in the Preakness. 1:54 3, a good time, not a record time. And afterwards, there was a lot of joy from the handlers of Pleasant Colony. And as they came off this winner's circle area, where we stand, we caught Jorge Velasquez and trainer Johnny Campo.
No, sir. Everything was lovely. 2 down, 1 to go.
Did you realize that Bold Eagle was slowing down the first quarter inning?
Well, he gave me a hard time at the end. He's a nice horse, too.
Were you surprised that Eagle stayed with you so much through the stretch?
Yes,
You got a
for
catch.
a little while.
Yeah, you got the surprise that beat Partey's. That's a good surprise. Tell his owner that.
Johnny Campo appears as if he's getting a little nervous. The guy's tightening up. The man who talked so much at the Kentucky Derby was very closed-mouthed after winning the Preakness, and as you can see, referred to the fact that Partey's owner had referred to his horse as not a super horse. And Johnny, well, he didn't particularly like that comment and threw it back in the face of the owner of Partey today. As Gail mentioned, Partey finished 5th today. Of course, on Preakness Day, with a lot of people here, there are some problems at Pimlico, and today we looked into one. Betting. It's always a problem for many of us. What race to bet, how much, and most important, on who. And if that's not difficult enough, quite often the bettor is shut out at the window on Preakness Day, an occurrence seen today in the grandstand. But it was kind of different in the clubhouse, whether the bet was $250 or a measly $2 exacta.
The clubhouse is pretty good today. There's not very many people here today. But it's a nice crowd, and the people's, betting, and it's very easy to get to the window.
I think the only problem is getting here in the morning. That's about it, Randy. Other than that, it's a good time. Everybody enjoys it, I think. The people here at the track enjoy themselves, too, and that's the best part about it.
It bothers me you can't get outside, get a breath of fresh air. All the boxes are sold. They seem to sell everything. The program's $1 today. They're making a buck. They're trying to grind it out the best they can.
Well, for sure, there was a lot of money exchanged, and in the case of some of us, it was all given and no taken. So while there wasn't a great difficulty in placing bets in the clubhouse or the grandstand, there was one big problem. There's an awful lot of time between races, time that allows you to continue to look over the racing form and get further confused as to who you're going to bet on. But of course, that additional time is here because of the people in the infield. They're given that time so that they can place their bets. A lot of betting everywhere, and for these in the infield, listening to the call was imperative since watching the race is next to impossible. But inside, there's always the monitors and a lot of cheering.
Okay, thank you very much, Randy. And believe it or not, there were some other things happening in the sports world today. The Orioles hitting, which had been barely visible the early part of the season, is out in full force. 17 hits 2 nights ago, 19 hits yesterday, and today another 14 as the Birds blanked the Twins 7-0. Steve Stone started the game, had to leave in the second inning when his elbow stiffened up once again. In came Dave Ford. He gave up only 4 hits the rest of the way for his first victory of the season. Rick Dempsey, 3 hits, including a homer. Eddie Murray, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Looks like Eddie is finally coming out of his slump. Jerry Kuzman took the loss. O's try to sweep the Twins tomorrow with Jim Palmer facing Roger Erickson. Meanwhile, in Boston today, the Royals beat the Red Sox 7-6, and this is Willie Mays Aikens with the first of KC's 6 runs in the 4th inning, putting them up 2-0. Now, a Hal McRae homer made it 3-0. That all came off Dennis Eckersley. Then with runners at first and second, Frank White with a little blooper to right that just falls in. Amos Otis scores on the play, and that makes it 4-0. Then Cesar Geronimo facing Dennis Eckersley, and he comes through with a base hit up the middle, scoring Jamie Quirk with the Royals' 5th run. They led 7-0. The Sox kept chipping away, but fell 1 short. Final, KC 7, Red Sox 6. As we take a quick look at the scoreboard in the American League, again, those finals. The O's over the Twins 7-0. The Royals edged the Red Sox 7-6. Toronto over Cleveland 4-1. Tigers win their 4th straight 7-5 over the Angels. And the National League, Mike LaCosse, 5-hitter, Reds 4, Pirates 0. And the Expos lead the Giants 4-0 in the 6th. And we're out of time, and that's sports.
We certainly are, and that is our report for the moment. Thank you for looking our way. 3 of us in one place tonight at 11, right after Fantasy Island. We leave you not with another look at the Preakness, but with another look at the Mayor's Regatta, as seen through the eyes of photographer Russ Moss.
Looks like you really go for good shoes.
Yes, I go where they've got the best brands in the world and where I always find my size.
Some exclusive department store in the city, I bet.
No, Shoe Town.
Shoe Town? But that's where national brands are about 40% off for people who are budget conscious.
Do you know anyone who isn't budget conscious these days?
Take your good taste to Shoe Town and put yourself in our shoes.
This wine always takes me back to the lake and that tiny island we used to sail to for those great picnic lunches with lake country wine. And I'll never forget those parties. Great food and lake country wine. Light, fruity wines that made everything taste better. Guess what I'm thinking about?
The lake. Taylor Lake Country. Wine that tastes as fresh as its name. Citizen is staying ahead of the time with the first quartz movement to break the...
Citizen watches, available at Zales. At Home with Johnny Mathis, Monday morning at 10.